Welcome back to my channel. You know, every now and again, you read a book that has a huge impact on you. And that's exactly the case with this book by Amanda Wen. Now, I have to be honest that this is the first book that I read by her, which means that this being the second book in a series, and the series is the Sedgwick County Chronicle series. Book 1 was Roots of Wood and Stone. And then this one here is The Songs That Could Have Been. Now, I went into this book without reading the first book in the series, but I wasn't lost at all. In fact, it was a singular story that I was able to follow from beginning to end. And the premise of the story is two couples in love in two sets of impossible circumstances, and then one powerful God of grace. Okay? That is the premise for the story. Who are these two couples? Well, let's start with modern day. Modern day, we have Lauren and Carter, okay? Lauren and Carter were an item back when they were in school, but for reasons that come up later in the book, we find out that he broke her heart. Now, as a TV meteorologist, he has an opportunity to make amends. The way that he chooses to do this is to create a television show or a cooking segment on the news that would involve Lauren. That's just a little bit on those two. Let's shift back to the 1950s Arkansas, okay? Remember the Jim Crow law, segregation? Well, in 1950s Arkansas, Rosie met another student named Ephraim. He was one of the few black students in her high school. Race relations back then were horrid. Whites only, blacks to the back, or sit in the back of the bus, or whatever have you. But Rosie was drawn to Ephraim, and he was drawn to her. But it was 1950s Arkansas, and there was no chance for anything to happen between them. As a matter of fact, in my written review, I said they were doomed to a future that would never be. All right, so let's come back to present day, okay? Rosie is ill and in the hospital. And in her fog, she asks about Ephraim. Nobody in the family knows who Ephraim is. Why is Rosie in a state of ill health asking about someone named Ephraim? Okay, so we go back to 1954, where Rosie, as a teenager, did not understand why races didn't get along, especially because she got along quite well with Ephraim. They had a love, they had a bond, but it was doomed, as I already mentioned. Now, this book, it doesn't shy away from serious issues, and these serious issues, whether they involved Rosie or whether they involved Lauren in present day, they include eating disorders, alcoholism, racism, and segregation. Yes, this book touches on all of it, but it does more than that. It also includes love and the power of forgiveness, as well as second chances for the young and old. Okay? Now, this is a Kregel Publications book that I get maybe 2 a month, and Kregel is a faith-based book publisher. So these books include a lot about God, the power of forgiveness, the power of love, the power of hope, the power of strength, all of those things, God's attributes, that comes through the pages of this book. But it's also done in a way that it's a very readable book. It's a very dramatic read, and that's what this book was. The Songs That Could Have Been, a very dramatic read where you're looking at two couples at two different times in history, present day and 1950s Arkansas. Now, this book, The Songs That Could Have Been, was really a good book. I think I already said that, but when my cat jumped up here, I got a little bit distracted all of a sudden. I'm sorry. So, what happens with Lauren, and Carter, with her appearing on the news in this cooking segment that he has dreamt up with the ulterior motive of making amends? What happens with that relationship? And then you have now with Rosie being elderly in the hospital in this state asking for Ephraim, whatever happened in that situation. This book really touched my heart. I'm trying to see what I gave it on Goodreads. I think I gave it 4 stars. This book really touched my heart because I love second chance novels. And at the end of my written review, I said this is a book about second chances for the young and old. So take a look at this book. Sorry about the cat. And hopefully you'll be able to enjoy it as much as I did. Now, it is on the Kindle store. I'm going to check right now. It's $9.99 as a Kindle book, or you can get it as an audiobook through Audible, maybe even through your library. And one thing I did want to mention is the first book that was in this series, I do want to go back and read that book. And only because I love Miss Wen's writing. I love the fact that she made me feel such compassion, such connectiveness to the characters, into the story, and to the messages that were in the story. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.